My name is Elena Dunn. I am 31 years old. And before you judge me, let me tell you the truth my family buried like a rotting corpse in our bloodline. Yes, I married my brother, but no one thought I deserved to know. They called me a traitor, a disgrace, the girl who ruined the family name. But the real betrayal? It was whispered behind closed doors long before I was even born. I never knew my mother had a husband before my father. No one spoke of him. Not at dinners, not during holidays, not even in passing arguments when family secrets sometimes slip out like venom. It was as though his existence had been wiped clean, a ghost my family pretended never walked these halls. I thought I knew everything about my perfect husband, Daniel. His gentle smile, his ambitious drive, the way he loved me like I was his entire world. He was flawless. Or so I believed. Until the night of my mother's 60th birthday party. The night the truth shattered me. My Aunt Lillian had too much to drink. Her lips grew loose, her eyes heavy with years of carrying the weight of our family's lies. "You should be careful, Elena," she whispered, gripping my wrist tightly in the bathroom. "Your mother always feared this day would come. She swore we'd take the secret to our graves." "What are you talking about?" I demanded, my pulse thundering in my ears. She stared at me, her gaze distant. "Your husband, he's not who you think. He carries your mother's first sin. The child she had with her first husband. The man your father was never supposed to know about." My stomach flipped. The air thinned. "Daniel? My Daniel?" Aunt Lillian nodded, tears pooling in her tired eyes. "They hid it from you. All of us swore to protect you. But love makes fools of us all." I stumbled out of that bathroom, the room spinning. Faces blurred. Laughter rang in my ears like mockery. My husband, my brother? How could this be possible? How could my own mother let me walk into this? Marry him? Sleep beside him? When I confronted my mother that night, her face turned ashen. "Mom, tell me she's lying. Please." She sank into a chair, silent. Her hands trembled. "Is Daniel my brother?" I screamed. "Half-brother," she whispered, like that softened the horror. "I was young. Your grandparents forced me to abandon my first marriage. Your father saved me from disgrace. But I couldn't give up my son. We arranged for Daniel to be adopted by your father's distant cousin. No one was ever supposed to know." My world cracked open. The man I loved, the man I vowed my life to, was tied to me by blood. And they let me marry him. The betrayal was thicker than blood. My father appeared behind her, his face grave. "We did it to protect you." "Protect me?" I laughed bitterly. "You protected your image, your pride. You let me build my life on a lie so monstrous it defies words." Daniel, too, was kept in the dark, raised apart. We were perfect strangers until college, or so I thought. The more I dug, the deeper the rot went. I found letters, old photographs, birth certificates tucked away in my grandmother's attic like cursed relics. The family had choreographed our entire lives, believing fate wouldn't be so cruel. But fate doesn't play fair with generational sins. And the worst part? Somewhere deep inside, my heart still throbbed for Daniel. Love doesn't dissolve easily, even when poisoned. Now I stand at a crossroad that crushes my soul. Do I divorce him and expose my family's darkest secret to the world? Or do I carry this unspeakable truth in silence, knowing every smile we share is stained by blood? My mother weeps every night, praying I choose silence. But I am not my mother. I am Elena Dunn. And my silence has already cost me too much. The truth must rise, even if it destroys us all. The next morning, I stared at the man who shared my bed, my husband, my brother, watching his chest rise and fall, peaceful in sleep. How could something so pure be built on such ruin? My throat tightened as I realized the clock was ticking. I couldn't keep this secret from him. He deserved to know. I had rehearsed the words all night, but when his eyes finally fluttered open and met mine, I froze. The weight of the truth pressed against my chest like a boulder. "Morning, beautiful." Daniel smiled, leaning to kiss me. I flinched. Elena? What's wrong? He asked, concern instantly washing over his face. The tremble in my hands betrayed me. We need to talk, Daniel. You're scaring me. I stared into his eyes, the eyes I had once found my entire world in. I found out something last night. Something about you. About us. He sat up, tense. What do you mean? You were adopted by your father's cousin, right? He nodded slowly. Yeah. My biological mother she was young. The adoption was supposed to give me a better life. That's all I ever knew. I swallowed hard, tears burning my eyes. Your biological mother is my mother. Silence. The world seemed to tilt. His breathing quickened, his face draining of color. No. Elena, that's impossible. I wish it were. But Aunt Lillian told me. I confronted my mother. They confirmed it. My voice broke. Daniel, you're my half-brother. He stood up abruptly, pacing like a caged animal. No. No. This can't be real. I have proof. The letters. The documents. They hid it from both of us. They lied. All these years. Daniel gripped the edge of the dresser, his knuckles white. My entire life, my identity, my marriage, it's all a lie? The rage in his voice frightened me, but beneath it was a pain that mirrored my own. We were victims, Daniel. Both of us. He turned, his eyes wild. Victims? Elena, we loved each other. We built a life together. How do we live with this? I don't know, I whispered. I don't know. The walls closed in around us, suffocating. The forbidden love we had unknowingly cultivated was now a noose tightening around our necks. That evening, Daniel disappeared. He didn't answer calls. He didn't reply to texts. I sat by the window, staring into the black void outside, my mind spiraling into dark corridors of possibilities. Would he harm himself? Would he tell the world? Would he ever forgive me or himself? At midnight, my phone rang. Unknown number. Elena. His voice was raw. I'm at my biological father's grave. I had to see him, had to make sense of it all. Tears streamed down my face. Daniel, please come home. I can't. Not yet. I need time. I need answers. And so do you. Because this goes deeper than we know. The line went dead. In that moment, I realized the secret I thought was exposed was only the beginning. The roots of this family lie reached deeper than I dared imagine. And something told me my mother wasn't the only one who had been lying. 2 days passed. Silence stretched between us like an endless chasm. I barely ate. I barely slept. Every knock at the door made my heart leap, hoping it would be Daniel, but he never came. Instead, it was Aunt Lillian who arrived, her face pale but determined. We need to talk, Elena. What more is there to say? I snapped, the exhaustion fraying my nerves. She pushed past me into the house and locked the door behind her. You think this is the full truth? Oh, Elena. What you know is only the surface. There's more. More? How could there possibly be more? I whispered, feeling my legs weaken. Your mother didn't just hide Daniel from you. She hid the real reason. She married your father. My head spun. What are you saying? Aunt Lillian exhaled shakily, glancing over her shoulder as if someone might be listening. Your grandfather owed money. Dangerous people. Your father's family bailed them out, on one condition. That your mother marry into the Dunn family. Arranged? You mean my parents' entire marriage was an arrangement? A transaction, she whispered. Your mother never stopped loving her first husband. Your father knew. It was always a silent war between them. And when your mother got pregnant again, they couldn't risk anyone knowing the child wasn't your father's. So they fabricated the adoption. I covered my mouth, tears streaming down my face. Dear God. And there's more. She reached into her purse, pulling out a small black key. This opens a safe in your grandfather's study. He kept records. Documents your mother never wanted you to find. I hesitated. Every part of me screamed to run, to hide from whatever horrors still lurked in our family's past. But I couldn't. Not anymore. We drove to my grandparents' abandoned estate. The mansion loomed in the night like a haunted beast. The wind howled through broken shutters. The scent of mold and decay clung to the air. The safe was hidden behind a false wall in the study. My hands trembled as I turned the key. Inside were stacks of old documents, yellowed with age. Letters, photos, contracts. And then I found it, a sealed envelope marked for Elena. Only when the truth destroys her. My breath caught. My name, my fate, sealed before I was even born. With shaking fingers, I tore it open. My dearest Elena, if you are reading this, then the sins of our family have finally crushed you. I never wanted this for you. I tried to keep you safe. But secrets have a way of rotting from within. Your grandfather's debts were not only financial. He owed lives. The man I first married, Daniel's father, was murdered because of your grandfather's failure to repay a debt to a powerful crime family. I was pregnant at the time. Your father married me under duress, to protect his family's interests. But I could not abandon Daniel. Hiding him was the only way to ensure both your safety. I am sorry for the life built on lies. For the love you found that was never meant to be. But know this. You and Daniel were not cursed by chance. You were pawns in a game set in motion long before you took your first breath. Forgive me if you can. Love. Mother. The room spun as the weight of generations crushed me. Murder. Blackmail. Arranged marriage. Incestuous love born from manipulation. My entire existence was shaped by debts, blood, and betrayal. Elena, Aunt Lillian whispered, placing her hand on my shoulder. You were never supposed to know. None of us were strong enough to stop it. I clutched the letter to my chest. I have to find Daniel. He needs to know everything. As we left the estate, headlights suddenly appeared behind us, blinding and relentless. A black SUV. Aunt Lillian gasped. They know we opened the safe. Who? The family your grandfather owed. They're still watching us. Elena, you and Daniel are in more danger than you realize. My blood ran cold. This wasn't just a story of betrayal. It was a story of survival. And the real war had only begun. The SUV followed us relentlessly through the winding streets as Aunt Lillian gripped the steering wheel tighter, her knuckles white. We can't go home, Elena. They're watching every step we make. My chest tightened. Where do we go? Somewhere they won't expect, she said. We need to find Daniel before they do. We drove for hours, finally reaching a small cabin hidden deep in the forest, a place Aunt Lillian said had belonged to a distant cousin who cut ties with the family decades ago. The moment we stepped inside, I could feel the weight of generations pressing on me. Old family portraits lined the walls, their eyes seeming to judge us for daring to uncover what was never meant to surface. I collapsed onto the worn-out couch, my voice trembling. Aunt Lillian, what do they want? After all these years, why now? She sat beside me, her eyes dark and haunted. Because your discovery threatens everything they've controlled for generations. Your grandfather made deals with men who never forget. Even after his death, they hold power over us. Over your mother, your father, all of us. But why watch Daniel and me? We're just the victims. Because you are the loose ends. You hold the potential to expose everything. And loose ends, Elena, must be tied up. My breath caught. Tied up? You mean? Eliminated. Suddenly, my phone buzzed. It was a message from an unknown number. If you want Daniel alive, stay silent. I stared at the screen, my heart plummeting into a pit of fear. They have him. Aunt Lillian read the message, her face hardening. We need help. Someone outside the family. Someone powerful enough to fight them. Who? Who would even believe us? She hesitated, then whispered. Detective Marcus Hale. He investigated your grandfather's dealings years ago. They forced him into early retirement, but he always suspected more. Can we trust him? He's our only chance. The next morning, we arranged a secret meeting with Marcus. He was grizzled, older now, but his eyes still burned with a hunger for justice. I knew there was more. Marcus said after hearing everything. They buried the investigation. Your grandfather's connections reached into politics, law enforcement, the courts. But now you have proof, the documents, the letter. If we can get Daniel back safely, we can bring them down. But they'll kill him if we expose them, I cried. They warned me. Marcus nodded grimly. Which is why we need to be smart. We draw them out, expose them publicly so they can't silence you without drawing attention. But it's dangerous, Elena. Once we start, there's no turning back. I looked at Aunt Lillian. She gave a small, resolute nod. We start, I said. We end this curse, no matter the cost. But even as I spoke the words, a chilling thought gnawed at me. What if the true monster wasn't only the crime family? What if it was someone inside my own bloodline who made this nightmare possible? And what if they weren't done with us yet? The tension in the cabin was suffocating. Every creak of the floor, every distant howl of the wind sounded like footsteps closing in on us. Aunt Lillian paced nervously, while I clutched the worn letter from my mother, trying to steel myself for what was coming. Detective Marcus Hale sat opposite me, his eyes grave but determined. This ends soon, Elena. Tonight, we expose everything. No more hiding. No more lies. I nodded, swallowing the lump in my throat. I was done being a pawn. Done living a lie sown by those who put family reputation above love, above life itself. We had one final meeting arranged, a secret gathering of the remaining family members involved in the conspiracy. They believed they were untouchable, guardians of the Dunn legacy, but they underestimated the power of truth and the fury of a woman betrayed. Hours later, we walked into the old Dunn estate's grand hall. The chandelier flickered, dust particles dancing in the dim light. Faces I once called family stared back at me, their expressions cold, hostile, ready to defend their secrets at all costs. My father's eyes burned with anger. My mother's face was pale, tears threatening to spill but locked behind a mask of resignation. And there, across the room, stood Daniel, gaunt, hollow-eyed, yet unbroken. As Marcus laid out the evidence, the letters, the documents, the debts, the murders, a hush fell over the room. The weight of decades of lies crushed the air. The truth we'd uncovered was a storm that no one could weather. My voice trembled but grew stronger with every word. You built this family on betrayal, on secrets so dark that they poisoned everything, love, trust, even life itself. But I refused to let this continue. Daniel and I were kept in the dark to protect an image, an illusion. That ends now. My mother sobbed, the facade crumbling. I never wanted this. I thought I was protecting you. But at what cost? I asked, my gaze piercing. You let me marry my own brother. You let me live a lie. Daniel stepped forward, voice steady but heavy. I don't hate you, but I hate the deceit. Our love was real, even if stained by blood. We deserve truth. The room erupted in shouts, accusations flying like daggers. But the damage was done. The family skeletons tumbled from their closets, laid bare under the harsh light of justice. In the weeks that followed, we worked with Marcus to bring the crime family's influence into the open. Arrests were made. Corruption exposed. The Dunn name, once shackled by shame, began its slow climb toward redemption. Daniel and I faced impossible choices every day to rebuild what was broken, to redefine love beyond blood, to forgive and move forward. I learned that family isn't just about blood or secrets. It's about courage, truth, and the will to rise from ashes that threaten to bury us. This story, my story, is not just about betrayal. It's about breaking cycles, confronting demons, and finding light in the darkest places. And as I write this, I ask you, if you carry your own family secrets, if your bloodline is tangled with pain, will you stay silent? Or will you, like me, choose truth, no matter the cost? Because some truths haunt souls. Some truths set us free. And some truths change everything. If this story moved you, shocked you, or touched something deep inside, share your thoughts below. Have you ever uncovered a family secret that shattered your world? How did you choose to face it? Your voice matters. Rewatch, reflect, and remember, sometimes the hardest battles are fought within the family. Thank you for walking this painful journey with me.